just going to talk.
Yeah, what's been presented?
What's coming up?
What's been presented? Yeah. Redirecting.
Let's see. Oh.
Whoa, backwards. Oh, that's right. There's a delay.
Yeah.
So it's
okay. Because I don't know if you guys can hear us.
Is anybody on there?
No,
is anybody?
When anybody gets on, let us know if you can hear us.
Is everybody in? Is everybody in?
And let us know how it sounds, because if it sounds terrible, like we're talking over each other's mics.
All right, so let's do this. Yeah, mute that, and we'll put your Zoom over top, so then we don't see us lagging. Ah.
Okay.
Finally, it's us.
Okay. Okay. Hey, we haven't started recording yet, but we want to just let some people populate. Hit us in the comments if this is working okay. You guys can hear us okay. We'll keep an eye on that as it populates. But we're just going to do a little preview of what's to come this weekend. We are in California.
Watsonville, Morgan Hill.
Morgan Hill
is
where we are staying.
And yeah, okay, those of you that know this area, it's real close to Gilroy. It smells a lot like garlic.
We're not talking over each other, are we? Oh yeah, your garlic story. Let's get into that. All right.
We'll start the garlic story.
We'll start all these stories. Okay.
Wait, hold on. Do you want to?
Yeah, I was going to say, are you ready?
I'm ready. Let's do this.
We're here. In 3, 2, 1. To get with the programming, I am Chase Ingram.
I'm Captain America.
And along with me is Bill Grundler.
Wolverine.
Right next to me is Bill Grundler.
How weird is that? I never got to see you push the buttons like that before.
That's how it works. I push the little buttons. It's on this little fantastic board, and you know, it's
and we're in one box. Look at that. We're one box.
No 2 box. We're in the same room. We're in the same proximity. We have both been tested and cleared. We are negative. So we are in the same room, sharing the same space, because we've done our job outside of the realms of this.
Stayed healthy, stayed 6 feet back,
kept our masks on,
hands sanitized.
So the reap the rewards is that we get to be normal human beings with each other.
I like that.
Which I love.
Yeah.
I miss this guy.
I like that.
I'm currently touching Bill's shoulder if you guys are just listening to this podcast. But it is the eve of the CrossFit Games, of CrossFit Christmas. So don't forget to put out your protein shakes for CrossFit Santa tonight. That's the best joke I could come up with.
That was, I have nothing to follow up on that. I didn't know where you were going with that one. I had no idea.
But we're also on YouTube Live, so if you guys are joining us, thank you for joining us. We're going to do our best to keep in contact with you guys as we do this. If you're listening to this later, we're just here to give a little preview of what's to come this weekend with how much we already know and then things we don't know yet, because there's a lot of events that haven't been announced that we don't know about. And just get people fired up for this weekend. It is the CrossFit Games.
It is, and it's...
But Bill, we're here.
I know, that is really cool.
You and me.
That is really cool.
You and me.
It's been a long time.
It's been a long time. And we were, I got the call to come broadcast this about 2 weeks ago. I was supposed to come up with Sean. And Sean and Tanya, and Tanya was up to do some desk work.
Yep.
Unfortunately, the way things shook out, you weren't going to be here.
Yeah, so they had you two guys in your roles of play-by-play and the color, which is totally cool.
Yeah.
They had
the way things worked out, you got the call.
I got the call. What? How?
The bat phone rang.
We're about ready to do the, was that's 2019 podcast, the 2019
Oh, yes, 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 yes.
analyze. That's what we were going to do. And I got a text from, I guess the executive producer is what his title would be for this whole shindig.
Yes.
And he's like, hit me up immediately. I need to talk to you. And so I was like, whoa, Chase, hey, stand by.
Stand by.
I got a call. I got to take real fast. And they basically said, hey, we need you up here. And I said, when? He said, tomorrow. And I said, okay, I'll be there. I'll be up there tomorrow night. And so here we are. And it's weird because I mean, we have done so many CrossFit games.
Yes.
So many.
Number 8 and number 10. Is this your decade? Because you did 10, 2010.
I did 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Didn't do 19. This is my 10th year. I didn't even know that.
Hey, that's what I'm here for, bud.
Shit, I didn't even know that.
Your decade.
It's a decade of CrossFit games. Anyway, we get here, and with how weird everything has been, you had no idea I had no idea what we were going to be walking into. And it really is like, I mean, you know, minus the fans and all that kind of stuff. But as far as the games, the operations of the games, putting stuff together, all the media stuff that's like swirling around and you know, the meetings that we get into and the production stuff here and there, it's the games.
It's
the
full on
same
the CrossFit
deal.
games.
There's nothing missing out of that. And, you know, I mean, it was a big question mark, man. It was a big question. I don't want to say an asterisk.
Careful. We had a fun play on words.
An asterisk.
Asterisks.
That's the right thing or not. But, you know, it was a big question mark, and I'm just really excited, man. I'm excited for the fans. I'm excited selfishly for me and for us, and I'm excited for the athletes. They deserve to have their games.
And what we like to do is hopefully if we have the time, we jump on here after every day and just talk about how the day went, give you guys some little behind the scenes things that we enjoyed, and just it's almost like a mini rush moments after each episode. So then we'll do a major one, and after the games is over, we'll do a full recap of the game. So right now we're just happy to be here. We're happy that you guys are here. Before we get into kind of what the lay of the land's going to look like the next 3 days, we want to thank our programatrons out there, our Patreon supporters, those that support the show financially.
Yes.
$6 a month, less than the beer that I just bought. Well, I bought 4 beers, but
he did.
Hey, you guys didn't think the Stella thing was real? Hey, we stick with tradition and we stick together. We're drinking our Stellas.
We know what's up.
We're on YouTube Live. And if you want to support our drinking habit, please go to patreon.com/getwiththeprogramming. For $6 a month, you guys can support the show. What we give back in return is we select one Patreon every week or one Programmatron every week and give you a full free month of programming from us, as well as every week you give you a free workout. So you're in the runnings for a free month, but no matter what, you're getting 4 free workouts every month. And that's not to include the exclusive content that we'll give you guys that we will try to do while we're here this weekend, just to say thank you to those that support us. And at the same time, we want us to thank Bubs for being our supporter of the show as well. I brought my single serving packets. I used them this morning.
Lucky.
Now, the problem is I used them in those hotel cups and I spilled coffee everywhere. When I put the little frother in there, everywhere. If you look, I have a coffee soaked hand towel sitting on my bathroom floor.
The frother's not made. It's not designed for those.
Yeah.
You got to use your Yeti. Now.
Well, I'm going to use my Yeti now because that's what I got in my little gift bag.
That's right.
It's
super cool.
It's awesome. So let's get into weekend one. You said this feels like the games, and it feels like the games. One, because it is the CrossFit Games, guys. This isn't like the asterisk game. This isn't the kind of games like this is full on CrossFit Games. Watching Dave and the demo team and Justin Berg and our meetings and our producers and us and seeing old friends, and I can't begin to explain how happy I am to see familiar faces of those that we know that now that they're here, so but also now that they're on site, like they brought these people in, how great this is going to be.
Right.
And we've had this discussion in multiple meetings. The whole goal is to give you guys, our fans, the community, the athletes who couldn't make it, the athletes who have made it, something to cheer for, something to rally around, and something to really light the torch going forward of the amazing things that are yet to come. Almost like this isn't the end of the season. This is almost the kickoff to the new CrossFit regime.
Right. Well, and I really like, and I think it was Noah that said it, that this is not the question mark year or the what if year or the asterisk year. We keep saying that word asterisk, but it's the once in a lifetime opportunity. Like this will never happen. It will never happen like this again.
I hope it doesn't. I hope it doesn't.
Well, me neither. I mean, the whole pandemic,
it's
a definite, it's rocked a lot of businesses, a lot of places, a lot of locations, a lot of everything, and still able to make this happen. And I'm just going to say, like, I think that the fans and the athletes are going to be pleasantly is probably a bad word, but it's probably true. Pleasantly surprised of the test that they're going to get to see and get to be involved in. And it's CrossFit is doing what CrossFit does, and they're making a great product.
And they are. And we just actually had a meeting about this. And the other thing CrossFit is really wanting to do is they want to put on something great. They know that they haven't been able to deliver to the standards that they set for themselves,
right?
That we set for ourselves. And we just had a meeting about, here we go.
Yeah.
We are locked. We are loaded. Yeah. And we cannot wait to start. I can't wait to start. I still can't believe we're here.
Get on with it already. We're here.
I mean, bro. I know we're here, but here. Again, I'm so stoked. So let's kind of go through the day. Let's go through. I think some people had some questions about the process of just getting in.
Sure.
So the big process is, we all got our trips here. We have our hotels. We stay in our rooms, and we
drink our beers and
do our podcast.
Take our notes.
Showing up on site, like, you have a barrier of entry of a COVID test, and you get tested, and you sit there until you get your results. And once you get that, you get let into the grounds. We are at the grounds at what is this? I should figure this out before tomorrow starts.
What do you mean? What is it?
The complex. What is this area called?
What's the Morgan Hill Sports Complex?
Yeah, Morgan Hill Sports Complex. Because that's where we are at, and that's where we actually will be broadcasting from the whole weekend, though some of the events will take place at the ranch in Aromas.
Right.
We will still be broadcasting from a booth here on site in the facility. And now, once you're in the facility, I mean, everything's spaced out. There's hand sanitizer, like everywhere you walk. You have to wear your mask everywhere you go.
Yeah.
And then once we get to our areas and our spaces and away from everybody and people that we've been negatively tested and surrounded by, is like, we can have these conversations isolated in our rooms that we've been isolated in to begin with. So the protocols that are taking place, like the warm-up area and the trailers for everything.
Every athlete has their own trailer. Every athlete has their own set of equipment, their own warm-up area,
their own ice bath,
their own
they have their own tub,
everything. And I mean, it's easier if you only have 10 athletes,
Obviously.
I mean,
and that was totally the whole point.
And it's kind of a trip because the athletes are cruising around, and they're basically the only people without the mask on. But they've also been tested like 4 times before they even got out.
They have to be tested every day.
Yeah. So their coaches all have their masks on as they're in the warm-up area or wherever, but the athletes didn't have those. So all the camera people, they have them. They it just is, the games is going above and beyond, making sure that everything is safe for all the athletes and all the people that are involved. Cause they want to do their part for sure. I mean, we are CrossFit is a health and fitness organization. That's what we do. So it'd be it would make no sense to like just be, not responsible about it and taking risks. So, amazing. So, but once we all got in, then it was like everyone kind of went to their area. So we started doing our meetings right away. We started, we're sound checking our mics, which we do here, sound checking.
I know.
Our mics. And, there's a lot of things because of all the different venues that are happening. Our production truck has to do a lot of syncing up of audio and visual and audio and video and trying to make that work. What kind of delays do you have? What kind of camera angles? Because again, the people that are operating and putting this phase 2 together are producers and directors and executive producers that have done the Olympics, Super Bowls,
it's an all-star
World Series. Like they are the top of the top in this field, and they want it to be a good show. So I mean, they are very meticulous about what they're doing. So, you know, again,
there's no spectators. There's no spectators. They're only going to play music. There's not even MCs.
No MCs.
It's crazy.
Yeah. But you guys at home will get the best show out of that over everybody.
You guys are going to get full coverage, it's again, full on CrossFit Games this weekend. Let's go over the schedule for tomorrow.
Yeah.
And then we'll talk about the events tomorrow. Yeah. Because we can preview the Saturday events tomorrow night.
Yeah, let's do that.
So the Friday schedule, it's going to kick off, and these will all be Pacific Standard Time. First event goes off at 8 a.m. Second event, let's see, I believe it's the first block. That's what they have here. Let me see what they wrote down. I want to make sure I give the right information. Okay. So what they have on the game site is that there will be 5 events per what the game site says tomorrow.
Right.
We know the first 2 will be at Aromas.
Right.
The next 2, well, I don't know. We know the next one will come back for what it says at this sports complex.
Right.
And then after that, we don't know.
Right.
We don't know officially what's going to happen. So here are the blocks. Let's go through the blocks. And as far as location, it doesn't matter. You just tune in and
you'll find out.
We'll be on TV. All right. So Friday, we have the first block time. There's 4 block times, 8 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. And that'll be on games.crossfit.com, Facebook, YouTube, Pluto TV, and Twitch. That'll be the same for all of Friday. Nothing will be different. The only time we'll be on CBS will actually be Saturday morning. So block 1, 8 a.m. start time, 9:30 finish. Block 2, 11:30 a.m. start time, 1 p.m. finish. Block 3, 2 p.m. to 2:10. And then the final block will be 4 p.m. So whatever the final event or events will be, we don't know what will be in that block. We just know the last block of coverage will start at 4 p.m. Again, these are all Pacific Standard Times. So that's the schedule.
And you can see a lot of that stuff on if you go to the games.crossfit.com site, you can see where that is. It'll show the blocks. It'll show the events that have been announced and what those events are going to be. So that's, I think, really, really important. Again, this is something that I think is exciting for a lot. It's what we know. I mean, they always do this. They kind of eke out a couple events.
Yeah,
and
they released some today.
Yeah, but they just kind of, they tease you, and then they throw something out there, and then they give you the event.
Give you a little taste.
And then they'll give you another one. They'll give you another one. You're like, oh, okay, cool. They're going to start handing them all out. And then they just give you another clue. And they kind of, hook you in. So if you go to the site, you can see what events are happening on what days. And if they've announced it, it'll give that bracket of what that information is. So you can see that.
So let's go with what we know. They just released this today. So the very first event will be called 2007 Reloaded. And the 2007 event is alluding to the very first event ever programmed out of the CrossFit Games. They used a hopper, which means they rolled a bunch of balls out and picked the event. We went through this extensively on our very first series in our very first episode of analyzing the 2007 CrossFit Games. So if you guys are listening, backtrack back and really get into the details like we did with the programming that year. Now, what it was the original one, 1,000-meter row into 5 rounds of 25 pull-ups, 7 push jerks at 135 and 85?
85, I think that year.
85?
Yeah.
Okay. The updated one, or the reloaded one, as they have it described, is a 1,500-meter row, so 500 meters further, 10 bar muscle-ups into 7 jerks, 235 for the men, 145 for the women. So we had some discussion about that, and I think they're drawing inspiration for these events. I think a lot of times when people think, what's the updated games version or the 2.0, and that's not what it has. It just has reloaded, or maybe I would say better, retooled is a better way to put it, because we had this discussion is like, this isn't necessarily like the Hopper Workout 2.0.
Right.
This isn't the bigger, badder games version. It's almost just a different version of the workout inspired by the previous one.
And that, I think that when Dave put the hint out that said 2007 day one and then some.
Yes.
That didn't have to exactly mean it's the exact workouts plus a more exact workout plus it's a little heavier or it's a little longer. It's let's do what I mean, there plus we already did 2007. We already had that in there. We already had that in there and did it. It's a 2013 games.
Yeah.
So there's really no sense of redoing it all over again. Now, could they have? Sure, they could have. But I think that retooled is a better word, even better than, I mean, I know it says reloaded, and that's fine. But I think that retooled is better because it's not that. We're taking pieces of that and building something similar that has that feel, but it's not the exact same thing.
Yeah. And we're following with your comments here. East Coast, thanks for staying with us.
Yeah.
Damon. Appreciate you staying up.
That's nice.
And then Drew just asked us, Bondurant, did I say that right? I hope so. Sorry, Drew. Thank you. The question was the loading seems a bit odd on the women's side.
But why would you say that?
Well, the reason why we would say that is what, and
believe me, we saw that too.
Yeah, and we'll give context to the question. In terms of the loading's the loading, and that's what we're going to roll with, and that's what they tested to see. And keep in mind is, gosh, I'm going to knock. You're going to knock a glass scooting out, my chair in and knocking over like all the glasses on this. We have this. You should see this janky setup we got going on. They've tested these events extensively.
Yeah.
And so whatever they used and whoever they used to do it, they determined that these are the weights. Now, why does it seem odd? Well, one, the men's weight is 100 pounds heavier than it was in 2013.
Yeah.
Is when they repeated this event.
Yeah.
The weight for the women's is only 50 or 60 more pounds. The curious thing is that the weight for the men, if you look back to heavy DT that they did in 2015, right, it was 205 and 145. Well, this is 30 pounds heavier for the men, but the women's weight hasn't changed yet. Right. So that's where it's curious. Now, what does that mean? That just the weights are the weights. It'd be different if they were competing against each other.
True. But you also have to remember that, like, it's not, you have to look at the way the overall test of the games is. This is one piece of a big puzzle. So there's a lot of testing in the background that we didn't see. And that's something that, I know Bill does need another Stella. Okay. I got one right here.
Did you already drink yours?
Yeah, bro.
Okay. You know why Bill's drinking a little bit?
Because I lost my keys.
Bill lost his damn car keys today.
Get a rental car and lose my damn keys.
Oh, man.
And I don't know. I had them all day long.
The good thing is we can walk to the venue, but
I still got an Uber to my hotel.
That's right.
I'm not in the same hotel.
You are.
So I will have another one. Thank you very much, Damon. I appreciate that.
That's our two. We always have two and only two.
But anyways, we got to look at the big picture. We don't have the big picture yet. Also, we don't have
we don't even have the big picture of the rest of the day.
Well, true. You know? And that's what I mean. So there's a lot of elements. So I caution you, just as when we were kind of talking about this, caution yourself to zero focus in on that one piece or a one piece. You have to look at the whole picture. And then, again, what is the intent of this event in the whole games? That's what you have to be looking at. So that's why we aren't going to get into too much of if it's programmed right, if it's programmed wrong, is it appropriate or whatever, because we don't know yet.
Yeah, right now.
We don't have that. We will do that when we do our full show.
Yeah.
But as of right now, this is what we do have. And
I like the event.
I think the event is cool.
I think we're going to see some
interesting.
Good,
interesting. At least on the guy's side. I mean,
I think on the women's side, this levels the field top to bottom.
Yeah,
it's because of that shouldered overhead.
That's right. We talk about, here comes Haley Adams. She doesn't have the strength capacity of some of these other women. So now
she's 19.
So now it's like, does she get now she's got, in this particular event, she's got a much more of a fighting chance than she would if it was, 155
right,
or 165 or whatever.
I think the weight would probably be more closer to 160 to 165. Yeah.
So
if you went on the numbers and the way things move. So what I like about this event, just looking at the event itself, it's not a twist. Pop it off the paper off. Oh yeah, Bill's. If you guys are watching, what we're doing the old school, because Stella's are pop tops, and if you guys are listening, Bill is trying to open his beer bottle. But if you don't have one, you can put the edge of your bottle cap on the table and just smack it off. It's
for all you college kids out there.
For all you college kids that don't have the old bottle opener or the sandals that had your bottle. You remember those things?
I do.
I had a pair of those. What are they called? Pacifics or something like that?
Pacifico.
No, that's the
beer. Oh man,
you know what I'm talking about?
I do know what you're talking about.
I had a pair of those in college because I was so cool. I was like, let me put my disgusting shoe on the top of my beer bottle and then open it up with my sandal.
No germs at all on that one. No germs at all.
That was before COVID, so germs didn't exist before that. We just blowed on your candles out of cakes and ate them afterwards, and who knew? Anyway, what I like about this event, if I just look at it I think it's a kick-ass way to start the weekend.
Yeah.
You take a classic event, you inspire this new event. And I think the way this sets up for both the men and the women, you can't really, if everybody's if we'll say the caveat, and we talked about this a lot today.
Yeah.
If everyone is going to show up this weekend bloodthirsty and ready to battle, I can't pick a horse 100% who I think is going to win this event because of the way it's set up.
I agree with that. Like
again, that's with the caveat that everyone's here to just throw down and
if everyone's here, okay, you will probably hear a lot of discussion about this kind of stuff from us, either here, even
for the rest of the weekend,
even on the show. Honestly, one of the things that an athlete needs to have is you're not here to have fun. You're here to kick some ass. You're here to. I mean, in reality, the two people that have the pressure are Matt and Tia. Everybody else has nothing to lose because they're supposed to lose to Matt and Tia.
Yeah.
So why not come out swinging? And that's where we were talking about that today is the desire to get after it with those guys, to not go, well, I'll just try to pace it through here. It's like, no, screw that. Like, let's go, man. Line them up. And if you knock me down, cool. I'll get back up. I'm going to come at you on the next one. But that's what I'm really hoping that we see, especially with the 5 people. But because the weights aren't as aggressive as maybe they probably should be, it forces, and we were talking about this, like you have to do those push presses unbroken. And now you have a race because now the race is going to be in the transitions and the race is going to be who's going to do all these unbroken and who's going to get lulled into either too much that they can't do. And then they get broken off on it. And I think that's what's going to be really interesting on it.
Now to answer a couple questions you guys have, 2K versus 1500. The thing I like for the 1500 is that it still makes it relevant.
Right.
Whereas the 2K would almost because what I think with the rep scheme, because of what the rep scheme is on the back end, the 10 and 7, anything over, I think 1500 makes the row more weighted.
Yeah.
You know, it's like you could actually win the event by having a good 2K.
Right.
Because you can put easy to put 30 seconds on somebody.
Well, yeah, think about it. Every 500, you can throw a 5-second flub in there.
Right.
So you do that there's 15 seconds on a 1500. It's like 20 seconds for a 2000. 20 seconds when everything else is going to be virtually unbroken.
Right. It needs to be.
It should be. And if you look again, what's the original intent? Now, granted, there wasn't an intent on the original setup. It was literally what was randomly picked out of the hopper. So that it wasn't like for this particular event, we're going to try to do blah, 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 blah. It wasn't that. So it wasn't set up that way. It was just designed. But to mimic that or have something similar to that or be inspired by that, you want to make the meat part the most important. The 5 rounds is the important part.
Yeah.
The beginning part is let's get you started. rev up the engine a bit, just a touch, to see, all right, who's going to be a complete idiot and blow themselves out and try to win it on that, or I mean, in reality, everyone's going to be getting off the road about the same time. It's just who's able to handle that tempo, and then you get into it. So I think that's why. I mean, I'm okay with 1,000. I mean, I think how many of you guys out there actually attempted to put in your own version when Dave Castro put it up on the Instagram? I myself put like up 4 different ones. So there was a myriad of different things you could have done. And I'm okay with this. It's an increase in difficulty on the pool and
again.
Gymnastic,
It's just it's a different test.
I'm glad the weight's up in the push press.
Yes,
but yeah,
I agree. Do you think the weight was lighter because the row is the same? I don't think it would be different if it was comparing the men to the women. Right. But since it's women to women, I think it's just the weight that they came up with when they tested it. The other question was from Mohammed.
Mohammed, yeah.
Which event do you think is too easy and that may be boring to watch? I don't think there is one. Honestly, there's events that are easier than others.
True.
But those will bring in more excitement in racing.
If you were to pick an event that most people would say was the most boring of all the CrossFit events in the games, you would think that maybe something super long like the marathon row would have been the most boring. But I tell you what, like that, even though it seemed, I mean, think about what it is. It's 80 athletes on the floor moving back and forth within a 3.5, 4 foot range for 2.5 to 3.5 hours. And that was still able to have some excitement. So I think that there will be excitement on all of these. And plus, that's our job. We're going to try to make it exciting for you.
Yeah. And to that question is, a lot of people are pointing to the Toes Bar one. It's like, do I think that event is easy for the athletes? Yes, I do. Do I think they're going to race their faces off and we'll see some exciting things happen and maybe some chances taken? Yes, I do. So I don't think that's going to be boring. And on the flip side of what you said, like a marathon row, people might look at a trail run and say, oh, that looks boring. They tested it today, and that course is so badass.
Yeah.
Like this trail run course, I can't wait for you guys to see it because they use the demo team to just so we could see where the cameras are placed, what the trails look like. And some of the angles that they shot, you're going to get a real good glimpse of how gnarly these trail are. It's like it's up and down and up and down. And I'm talking like we watched Daniel Brandon like had to slide down on a hill on her butt because it was so sketch. So the trail run might be like, oh, it's just a trail run and they'll be running with no sound and no fans, but like the course is so cool.
Well, and every time we've seen anything like that in the past, when they've gone to Aromas, whether it was 2016 when they brought everyone back or when it was back in the old days, you had very limited visual of that race. Now we have a lot of visual.
We didn't get it at all.
That's what they would have highlights. You'd see a group kind of moving down this one part.
Yeah.
Or this group moving down this other part. But now you actually get to see the struggle of the athletes. And
you get to see Aromas.
There's going to be some struggle of the athletes.
The old struggle bus pulled up and opened up its doors during that hill run today. So that was really cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so Reloaded. The event 2 tomorrow will be the corn sack sprint, 320-meter hill sprint. The cool thing is that you can actually see videos of this being tested by the athletes with some good little narration from Boz.
Yeah. And I think that was one of the coolest things that they've done this year. They've never had that before.
Yes.
So you see the tests, you see Boz narrating over top of it. You see how these athletes are moving the weight or running or whatever. So it gives you an idea of, I think what it really does for me is I can now see, they aren't just throwing spaghetti noodles up on the wall and seeing what sticks and going like, we'll just do that one. We want to see, are the weights done correctly? And that's why, even going back to the first event, we have a lot of questions about that weight too. And I'm anxious to see how that works. And that's what we have to see. They did the testing for it. They didn't just randomly come up with it. So it'll be interesting to see.
This seems like a good idea.
Yeah, let's just go down and wait. What do you think about that? Okay.
Yeah.
So I think that'll be really good. So even like with the if you go back and watch that stuff, if you haven't seen it, go check it out because it is really cool.
What I'm excited to see is they're going to use the same exact route that they used in 2009, they're just extending it another 150 meters.
Yeah, I think they almost
It's
doubled
about
it.
170,
Yeah.
and now this is again, all these. If you guys
Ish.
haven't heard our general rule of thumb in terms of
Ish.
distances in the CrossFit Games, it's all in ish. It's a 320 meter ish hill sprint with a lighter bag. My initial reaction is that this is like we did in 2007. This isn't hill sprint 2.0.
No,
this is hill sprint inspired by 2009.
Here's another hill run. Weighted hills.
Here's another
hill movement.
It's a longer course. It's a lighter bag.
Right.
So it's a different test. So those that did 2009, this isn't like a harder version per se. It's just a different version.
Right.
What I like is that 5 are going at a time. And so there's going to be that race within the race that you're going to get to see.
Yeah.
You know, that game within the game. And there's enough time because unlike the hill sprint in 29, it was like 3, 2, 1, go, push the pedal to the floor, try to push it through the car and just see where you land. Full send.
Yep.
And people pay dearly for that and still talk about it to this day. 2009 hill sprint being arguably the most devastatingly painful CrossFit Games event ever programmed. This is different. It's not that twice as hard. It's just different. The length is different. The elevation is longer.
Right.
The distance is longer, and that changes the stimulus and the intensity. So try not to get too lost in the weeds of better or worse. It's just different. This is going to be a different test, but I like that there's going to be time to make conscious decisions of how you want to approach this along the race.
Well, okay. And they already talked about, again, this is supposed to be retooling this event. So all of these athletes know what happened to everyone on the original version of this event. That 90-second sprint up that hill. They know exactly what it looked like. So everyone's going into this with the don't kill yourself on the first half of this, because they realize that you have to go right past that old faded cone that's going to be sitting there and then make your way up to the top. And if you watch the video of some of the women, Andrea Neisler and some of the others going up that hill, the running part kind of slowed down, and there wasn't a lot of running. It was moving the bag, walking quickly, walking with purpose, definitely. But it was not the same sprint that we saw.
Yeah.
Not the same Bambi legs that we saw.
Yeah, it's just
on the original one. So it's not the same. It's going to be fun to watch. It's going to be definitely some destruction within that, but it will definitely be different.
The question I saw is back to the Toes Bar one. Again, we'll preview more of Saturday. Tomorrow.
We'll hit it tomorrow.
Tomorrow, what we're gonna do is we're gonna recap day 1. We'll preview day 2.
Yeah.
So we'll touch more on the Toes Bar 1 tomorrow. So if you guys please join us, we'd love for you guys to be a part of this like you are tonight. Yeah. So in Muhammad's talking about, like, there's lots of sprints. Like there's lots of sprints that we know about.
Yeah.
Right. So again, the full picture isn't painted yet. So what we're not going to do is we're not going to assess the programming, not knowing half of what the events are and how they're going to unfold. Because a lot of times, and we see this often, is that what reads on paper
does not play out the same way.
Does not play out the same way. So there's a lot of different factors going on. And so we had the classic CrossFit event to start. We've got this just, blood bath type hill sprint up the top, again, different than 29. And then we have the CrossFit Total for the third time.
Yeah.
Now so we went classic CrossFit workout. We just did full throttle workout, and now we're testing strength.
Yeah.
Similar, almost exactly to the way we saw it in 2018. 2018.
Yeah.
A little bit different format, and they'll release more information on how it's going to go tomorrow. What I'd like to see in the other total. Sure.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. Just something new, something fresh.
Yeah.
Again, doesn't take away from what the test is going to be.
Here's the thing. Would it be more exciting to see that? Maybe because we haven't seen it done yet at the games.
Yes.
But to say that, okay, what about a back squat? What about a deadlift? What about a press? Are those going to be boring to watch? Of course not. because guess what? We all do those.
And we're going to see some heavy weights.
Yeah, absolutely. And we have some new characters in there that didn't compete the last time that they had this.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah, I look, I don't want to repeat a workout 3 times either, but whether it's right or whether it's wrong, again, we don't know until we see the full picture. So
yeah,
you have to not let yourself get zeroed in on this tiny little thing of this one event. Is it right? Is it wrong? Would it have been cooler? Whatever, maybe.
We'll find out in 3 days.
Right.
Right.
I mean, we'll talk. We'll definitely address that on when we do the full show for sure. 100%.
And what questions we not get to tonight on YouTube, and if that you guys throw comments on social media, go to Instagram, _the programming. We'll answer these fully once we analyze the programming next week, because again, we only have little pieces of the puzzle and we don't want to too much spotlight one spot, but these are all fantastic questions that will be answered in full when we can do them appropriately. But yeah, would have been cool to see the other total, which is
I would have liked to have seen it.
A clean. They just put this on .com, I think, last week.
Yeah.
Clean overhead squat and bench press.
Yep.
Yeah. See some fresh new lists in there. See if the overhead squat increased since 2014, because that was the last time they tested it. A max bench. I don't think we've ever seen that at the CrossFit Games or regionals.
No.
We saw bench press in Linda.
Yeah.
And then a clean. I mean, we've seen that multiple times in multiple iterations before. But again, what does that look like after that hill sprint?
True.
Gonna be
totally true.
Yeah. But again, this is also an homage to 2007. That was part of what Dave's first day painting of the picture, with some little twists and reloading and retooling. And so that is another reason why this is in there, because this was part of the 2007 CrossFit Games.
And maybe the retooling is going to be and it's not really stated how it's going to happen yet, but maybe the retooling is not in the fact that it's the event that's retooled or the weight, because the weights can change based on the strengths of the athletes, if they've improved or not, but the way that it's going to be presented. What we're told is it's not going to be exactly how it was the last time they did it. So you have to tune in tomorrow to find out how is it going to be different. And is that going to change? I mean, again, we have a lot of different variables that are happening just with the few number of athletes that we have and how it's set up. So tune in there. You'll find out when we find out, and we'll see if it does change some of the things that happen as far as the numbers that go.
I think Adler might win the CrossFit total.
Sergio,
that's
valid, man. That's valid.
He definitely has a shot, because Adler is one of the stronger guys in the field. Medeiros is proven to be one of the stronger guys in the field. If you just go off the numbers from the previous year, obviously Fraser is top from 2018. But again, different year, new blood. Adler wasn't there. Medeiros wasn't there. Quant wasn't there.
Yep.
The only other one that was actually there for total was Noah. So yes, it is the same event, but 3 of the 5 guys didn't even do this in 2018.
Right.
And on the women's side, I mean, Haley Adams didn't do it. She's the only one that wasn't a part of that crew. But I am curious to see, especially for total, how is Katrin going to hold up? Because, I mean, she's been very open and
about all of her injury
stuff. Her herniated disc that kept her out of competition since the Open a year ago.
Yeah.
Right. The Open was a year ago. Think about that. The last time we did the CrossFit Open was 365 days ago. And that was the last time Katrin really did anything serious in competing, except for stage 1, which was 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And the big problem is, like, her back was bad.
Yeah. That's what she said.
Real bad. So she wasn't able to do what she can. So the things that I'm nervous about, because if I look at event 1 and event 2, event 1, like we said, with that weight, especially on the women's side, anybody's ball game.
Yep.
Anybody's ball game. And that's just a grindy, technical workout or event. My bad. I better get
that ironed out right now.
Workout yips out of the way.
We don't do workouts.
These are
at
events.
The games. They're events.
These are events.
Not workouts. You work out in the gym. This is a competition.
Yes,
these are events.
These are events. I also think the hill sprint is another opportunity for Katrin to do very well.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, look at how she trains.
Yeah.
Right. The thing I'm nervous about, and what I would be cautious about, I'm not going to speak for Ben, but you had a herniated disc. Overloading that in a back squat, not the best idea. Overloading that in a deadlift, probably even worse idea. And even a strict press to a certain extent, if you can't keep your midline together for a low herniation of your disc, those are 3 main things that could re-aggravate something that knocks you out for a whole year of competition. So what that would mean for her is like, I think, and we touched on this earlier, it's like my thoughts, Katrin in the last few years, I think has not been given enough credit of how well she's done.
Totally.
She won twice, 15, 16, and then since then has been at all the top 5s.
Right.
Yeah. It's like, oh, what happened to Katrin? Like, what happened to Katrin? She's got like 5th, 3rd, 2nd, then 5th.
Right.
And now she's 5th again, no matter what happens. So it's like nothing's happened.
Right.
People are getting better. Things happen. Nobody wins the games every year unless you're Tia Toomey, Matt Fraser, or Rich Froning. And so what I'm curious is like, we've touched on this a lot, is like, she has always exceedingly done well since the last time she's won, when her back was against the wall.
Right.
When she had no other choice but to go for it. Get out of your lane and get into your competitors.
Right.
Attack. I think she starts with her back against the wall, almost knowing she's going to take last in the CrossFit total.
I hope she's going into tomorrow thinking that.
That's what I'm saying.
Like she already lost the total. I would agree.
And to the certain extent, it's like, listen, you're going to get 15 points, which is the scoring system, in event 3. I don't care what happens in event 3. So you have event 1, the 2007.
Yeah.
You have event 2 to just fully send your soul into the events, knowing that event 3 is not going to matter.
Right.
It's not going to matter. You're going to get last, take care of yourself.
Don't break yourself getting last.
Don't hurt yourself getting last place.
Right.
Don't be a hero.
Right. Don't be a hero.
Like,
well, and this is one of those things. So they have that rule in there that like the you must try rule.
Yeah, well, try not to hurt yourself too.
Well, I agree with that. I'm just saying.
I get it.
It will,
and we don't know the full extent of the application of that rule.
And I mean, I like the idea of the rule in theory, but it's like that's so subjective.
It's a slippery slope.
It really is. That's gonna be a tough one to really put out there if you really want to kind of nail someone with it.
And I think what they said is the parameters of the 0 points is either you get time capped, would be a 0 point,
or you quit.
I believe that's the extent. It's almost like a clear line.
Yeah.
Even though we don't know exactly the implications, but a lot of it too is I think it'll be a lot of warnings.
Yeah.
And just like get it together. But like the same thing, this is a little bit different. You're talking about like the health and safety.
Yeah.
Totally. And here's the facts. She's not going to beat Tia. She's not going to beat Brooke. And she's not going to beat Carrie in the CrossFit total. No matter what. The only person she could possibly beat is Haley Adams. And should you put yourself in a position to knock yourself out of the weekend in one event of the numerous events we have left to go?
No.
Especially on the first day of competition. Coming off 2 events, Katrin could 100% win.
Yeah.
She could 100% win both of them. In fact, when you say your back's against the wall because you're starting off the day with negative 100 points.
Yeah.
That's how she needs to approach event 1 and event 2. You are in the hole.
Right.
Because you are going to lose event 3. You're going to get last.
Yeah.
Well, I guess she would get 15 points. So you're at 85 points in the hole. You bring that to her, event 1 before the weekend starts. That's what I would like to see a Katrin Davis daughter start the weekend.
I hope she's thinking that way. I mean, could she still beat Haley? Absolutely. But the thing is that
it's the risk.
True, but it's the mindset of that. Like if she truly lets herself be like, I mean, like whatever. Do what you need to do in that event. Don't kill yourself, but count it as an absolute loss so that you're already starting there. You're already starting in the hole so that it's that whole Michael Jordan thing that we were talking about. Make it be personal.
Right.
Make it be personal so that you start off going like, all right, bitches, let's go.
Okay, we touched on that. Yeah, so I think Drew asked this. There are time caps, I think, listed occasionally, but with the schedule and the way things are, they might just be you finish the event or you quit. And I think that's what the cap could be. So yeah, I don't think there are actually maybe official time caps set out. I'm looking at this right now.
It should say on there if there's a.
I see. Well, you're right. I see no time caps listed for any of these events. So yeah, you either finish or you die trying. I don't know if that's you finish, you die trying, or you quit. So yeah, there you go. No time caps. Okay, so that's the first three. Event 4 hasn't been announced. Right. So we don't know what it's going to be. We don't know where it's going to be. Again, we have 3, 4. Actually, we'll say 2 competition areas. We have this facility, the multi-sports complex, and we have Aromas.
Right.
And the athletes will go back and forth based on what the event is going to be. We don't know what event 4 is. In event 5, we know it's a trail run. That's all it says. And we watch the athletes do the trail run. We don't know how far the trail run actually is. A big fat-ish.
But again, we know the trail run, the history of the trail runs, that everything they've done here. It's gonna be something dirty.
I saw people crawling on all fours. I saw people sliding down on their butts. Right. I saw people falling off the trail into trees and brush and possibly poison ivy. Like, I'm even watching that, it makes me itch because I am so allergic to poison ivy.
Oh, you'd hate it up there.
I honestly was like, hey, like there's nothing. I haven't got to go yet. I have yet to step on the hollow grounds that it is Aromas.
It is amazing.
I'm going to bring like an empty sandwich bag and just put some dirt in it and then make some like a shadow box when I go home and have this. Like I will go. I don't care if I have to jog there from this facility to get there, but I won't run the trails if there's poison ivy up there. I will go to the hospital. That's how allergic I am to it. It's crazy.
Don't go up there then.
Nope, I'm good.
Don't go up there.
I was like, this looks nice from here at the bottom of this giant hill. And it's really hard to gain perspective when you're seeing photos of it or even pictures of it or videos. But the way, again, we watched the coverage, what the camera angles are going to look like, you are going to see exactly how gnarly this trail run's going to be in terms of elevation changes.
Yeah.
I mean, there's rocky parts, there's sandy parts, there's like paths that were more like forged from water runoff than an actual level path.
It looked like a wash of some sort or like a tractor line in another area.
I thought I was going to see like 15 different knee and ankle injuries halfway through the entire thing, like when they're going up and down hills.
Yeah.
So again, it says trail run. They didn't disclose how far it was, but watching it as like it's a gnarly course. So it's hard to gauge because like if they say, oh, it's a 2K, 3K trail run, it's really hard to gain perspective or distances seeing how up and down it was. And there's like leaves and like, again, this is you're going to see some really cool shots, better than we've ever seen the coverage before on the Aromas trails. And that'll close out the first day of competition. So we have a 5-event day. We know 3 of them for sure. We don't know the full details of the last one yet, in terms of the distance of the course. And we don't know what event 4 is going to be or where it's going to be. And it's getting built. Obviously Dave keeps saying this, like, this is the hardest CrossFit Games ever.
Right.
and you know, people look at what has been announced. They're like, well, the toes to bar one's easy. And, you know, the total and the sprint and the, whatever this trail run is supposed to be like, what is this BS? And like, again, we only know a fragment of what the extent of the test is going to be. Now, seeing like Dave and Justin's faces as they're like, just wait. I
know.
I am excited. Like I'm slowly like scooching closer to the edge of my seat as they're explaining like how fun the weekend's gonna be. And I was like, just tell me.
I know. And then
I'm like Loki looking at Odin's son and tell me.
Just tell me. And the thing is that we all get caught up into that. So just as you guys are getting caught up in the things that they, what is said, you're right.
Bruce, you're right. He says that every
single year. But I don't think that there's been a year up to that point that wasn't difficult when he said it was going to be difficult. I mean, they did a lot of testing, so they know exactly what it looks like on these athletes and how they're able to handle it. But you have to be very careful about.
If anybody just heard that smash, I just opened up another beer off the desk. This hotel's gonna be pissed.
Don't get caught up in the little minute pieces yet. Let it all play out before you say it is or it isn't the hardest or the best test or the whatever. I mean, we have to do that too. As programmers, it's very easy to see whatever is given out and put out there and then be like, if I was to do blah, 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 because you're looking at that one piece. We have our own OCDs and we would want to design it or tool it or retool it a particular way. But I think you got to look at the big picture. You gotta stand way back, and we'll talk about it afterwards to see if it was appropriate or right or wrong, or if Dave's comment was correct.
Yeah, and again, we have 3 days, guys. The CrossFit Games is happening tomorrow.
That's right,
tomorrow. Bill, we're broadcasting it
tomorrow
with Sean Woodland.
That's right,
the voice of the CrossFit Games,
sultry voice,
and Tanya Wagner.
That's right, Tanya.
The mom of the CrossFit Games.
She was totally momming out today, too. It's so funny.
Also,
oh, my gosh.
The 2009 CrossFit Games champion, by the way.
That's right.
By the way. So we got a good crew here. We don't have the whole crew. Obviously, this is a small fraction of what made the CrossFit Games coverage what it was back in 2018. But we will get there. What we want you guys to do for us and with us, roll with us. Roll with us all weekend because we're freaking back. I'm sitting next to you.
That's right.
In your state. I'm the transplant here.
That's right.
But we're back. Like it's back, guys. This isn't like fake CrossFit Games, bonus CrossFit Games, like this is the CrossFit freaking Games. This is the most un-2020 thing to happen in 2020.
God, thank God.
So what we want you guys to do, roll with us. Watch every second with us. Listen to us. Watch the athletes. Cheer them on. Get on board because the ship is riding. The new regime that has come in with Eric Rosa and Dave Castro and Justin Berg is that they want to make this as great as we all know it could be, is as much as y'all want it to be, and they understand that. They hear that, and they're getting there. So what we want you guys to do is just kick your feet up, keep this on 24/7 for 3 straight days, and let's enjoy some freaking live competition with the 5 fittest men and women in the entire world. You guys are about to witness possibly history on the men's side. The fittest man to ever walk the earth with Matt Fraser. He has an opportunity to win 5. Tia Toomey, you're watching a legacy get made event by event for the next 3 days. She is the fittest woman to ever walk the earth. You are watching history. Every event goes on. This is going to be amazing. You got rookies like Justin Medeiros. Who knows what he's going to do? He's one of the most talked about rookies I think I've ever seen at the games. Maybe second to Matt Fraser when he was coming in for his first year.
Yeah, I mean, he's this kid, and what's crazy is he's just smiling all the time. He's just looking like he's going to have such a blast.
But not in a, I'm happy to be here. Like he can't wait.
He's like, and the kid's a wrestler. I mean, it's that wrestler thing. I'm
some
telling
bias
you,
there.
I'm telling you.
Some bias there.
He enjoys the get out. He enjoys the fight, man. Like, let's go. We'll shake hands afterwards. But right now I want to kick your ass. And I want to see, I'm so excited to see what he can do. And I've said this before during other games. I can't stand when someone isn't fighting to beat Matt.
Yes.
Stop letting him go away. Like he's great. Got it.
Stop handing it to him.
But like, cut his legs out from under him, man. Like, get after him. What do you have to lose? He's supposed to beat you. Go for it. Like, go for it. And with a small group,
yes,
now we have that opportunity, because I think everyone else before, when it was a full group, you're like, well, I want to try to make it into the top 5. They're already here. So get after it now.
Well, and the other part is what we've seen so far is like, oh, the toes to bar is kind of easy. And what's with the weight and these sprint things is like, guess what that means? It means no one can walk away with this.
And everybody's got a shot.
Everybody's got a shot with this programming. So that's what you guys should be excited about. Not sprint, long, or whatever. Every person, if they want to bring it, from what we've seen so far programmed, has an opportunity to win.
Yeah.
It's not going to be a walk away. And that's the exciting thing. I want there to be an event that you don't know who's going to win because it might be like too easy or too fast or too niche. Who knows? And that's the exciting part. And then you got Tia trying to get her 4th. Brooke Wells coming off the best competition she has ever had.
Totally.
And coming off getting cut, not because of her fitness in 2019, but the technicality of stepping on a line.
Yeah.
So she didn't get to display that. You've got Carrie Pierce, who's one of the reigning fittest woman in the United States. The
US, yeah.
Right. And then you have
the phenom.
You got the young phenom Haley Adams, who by her own coach, Rich Froning, said, we haven't seen the things that she's best at yet. And what she's best at is supposedly the outside the box thing.
Yeah.
And then let us not overshadow the greatness that is Katrin Davidsdottir, because the way it shakes up now, Katrin is one of the best female CrossFit athletes to ever take the floor, along with Tia Toomey and Annie Thorisdottir. I feel like those are your top 3 when it comes to that. And Katrin, based off what happens this weekend, could not ahead of that. So I'm excited for day number 1. Day number 1. Roll with us. We're going to
do that.
Hey, we're going to try to give you guys as much breakdowns and previews as through the rest of the weekend. So tune in. 8 a.m. is when it starts. I'm not even going to tell you the other blocks because you shouldn't turn that shit off anyways. So, hey, starts tomorrow, 8 o'clock Pacific.
Let's do this.
Cheers. Guys, thank you for joining us. We'll see you live at the CrossFit Games tomorrow. Boom.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you guys for joining us. I hope we answered most of your questions. Anything we didn't get to you, I promise we'll get to at our Analyze and Programming, and we'll get to it tomorrow with the new events that we have coming up. I can't wait you guys to roll with us, have fun with us. I can't believe both of us are here. I can't believe it. I'm so excited. Sean Woodland in the house. Yeah. I mean, he's just that warm voice blanket that comes over me during game season. And again, to have Tanya Wagner in there with him. She'll be on the update desk for the CBS shows on Saturday. And then go check out the Rogue Iron Game, guys. That's going to be the pregame shows for the CrossFit Games. Rogue Iron Game, they're going to have Sam Farber, Pat Sherwood, Annie Sakamoto. They're going to preview what's coming up for the day, do some midday hits, and then a post show as well. So you guys are getting it from all angles. I would say the Rogue Iron Game is seeming like the college game day of football Saturday, even though it's CrossFit Friday. So hope you guys watch. Roll with us. We're here for you. Thank you guys for being here.